All right, let's go. So, disclaimer on this video. It's going to be more on the explicit side. I'm going to be talking about my walk with the Lord as it relates to my sexual, I don't know what to call it really, journey or something. But this is what I believe I'm going to call this video. All right. Something like confidence achievement unlocked, the grace to explore who you're not. Basically, the grace to explore who you are not, to find out who you are. This is what it is to walk with the Lord. This is what I'm finding in walking with the Lord. You see, I grew up very early age, picked at pornography. Found like a magazine or something. I was watching I saw my dad watching porn. He was like blocking the hallway with like a chair or something. And I saw it, right? And it was very enticing, as you would imagine. And it became this thing where I would look at it now as my escape, right? Maybe it's been your escape if you can relate to this video. If not, maybe this video isn't for you. I know we all have our own things in which it feels like we've been marked, and we've been hurt and we've been wounded. And I pray that for you as for me, that you are experiencing Him in that, and healing in that, and freedom in that, and honor in those places where you've felt the shame. But anyway, the porn thing was always something for me to escape into, at the most part, because my environment was extremely stressful. It did not feel safe, and so this was a place where I could be safe, right? There's also something about it where I felt accepted, but it didn't come, clean. It came with the shame. The spirit of lust seems to be, in particular, comes with the shame. And what comes to my mind now, because I was just thinking about this whenever I woke up or whatever, I was like, am I really about to talk about this? And I'm like, I guess this is the day. Was like sexual sin is the sin that's against the body. That makes a lot of sense. I've looked at my body and I've felt inadequate. I've looked at my body and I have felt ashamed. And here's all the reasons I should feel ashamed. But the Lord has met me in that, and where I wanted to close the door immediately, He's like, no, let's go explore this dark place in you together. And I think that it's His way of sifting the doubt and sifting the fear to then bring me to a place where I am more fully confident in who I am. Having gone through the accusations that shame comes with, and coming out the other side, this is why I say there's grace to explore who you're not. There's grace to go through these dark things with Him, with the intention of coming out on the other side more confident. Because I am not of darkness, but I have gone through darkness. I am not of darkness, like you are not of darkness, but you are in darkness. You have been in darkness. And being in darkness has left a stain on you. It's left a stain on me. Something that is not easy to get rid of. It's just kind of funny that I'm wearing this shirt or whatever. I got coconut oil on it, and I sprayed some Dawn dish power wash soap shit on there, and it's better, but I think I got to do it a couple of times. I think that's the same way with the Lord. It's this continual washing, but the continual washing is this continual faithfulness, right? You are of the light, but I have found you in darkness, and in darkness you have believed many lies about yourself. At an early age, I was deceived, right? I was enticed, I was tempted, I was led down this way, And this whole porn thing became a way to escape, but it came with so much shame. And I think this is what actually keeps us watching porn longer. It's because we are in a shame cycle. So it feels good, so we do it, and then we feel bad that we did it, which then makes us feel unsafe, so we do it again. For the men and for the women, right? It's the things that we hide in the dark. But I do not live in the dark. And that's something that the Lord has showed me about myself. He's like, I've made you to explore these places with me, for you to come to see who I am in these places where men have got it wrong about me, because they have speculated about who I am in the dark. But you, in your curiosity, the way that he has made me has been like, why is it this way? Why do we see it this way? Why does it feel like this? Like, I'm asking all of the questions. I'm curious. I don't trust the speculations of men. It's never really got me anywhere. But with the Lord, there is freedom. Where the Lord is, there is freedom. And this is what I've found with him in this whole porn thing. Because I basically tried to shut the door on it as soon as I got into the church. And the mega church people try to help me do that real good. And I was pretty successful at it too. Pretty successful, it's kind of I thought I was kind of a big deal, like went like 2 years without like masturbating or whatever. Watching porn, got married, did the whole straight and narrow. Didn't work. I think that was God showing me like this isn't gonna work in your own strength. Because I'm not afraid of this like you have been taught to be afraid of this. I'm not ashamed of this like you have been taught to be ashamed of this. And this is where you will find God, light in darkness, and light has a different opinion than that of darkness. But a lot of people in the mega church I was at, it was like, now you got to shut this thing away. You got to close everything. You got to do this whole thing. And it's like, yeah, like if it was up to me being still in that whole thing, I'd be still doing the same thing, right? But I wouldn't be experiencing freedom like I'm experiencing freedom now. I wouldn't be receiving confidence like I'm receiving confidence now. Because he's like, nah. And it was like a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 or 4. Basically, like he reintroduced me back to porn, right? Which I think a lot of people will have a hard time believing, but that's what I'm believing now anyway. It didn't make sense at the time. I felt like it was the devil or whatever, but I look back on it now and it was like God was taking me back to meet my accusers. Because that's really what it was that left such a stain on my soul. It wasn't the pornography. It was the accusations. It was the spirit of shame. It was the spirit of lust. It was these spirits, right, that would accuse me and make me feel a certain way and make me believe that I am a certain way when I do this certain thing. And so the shameful act is something that I need to put down. It's something I need to resist. It's something I need to get as far away from, right? Even the Bible says, flee from sexual immorality. This is you're gonna have to walk with God through this. And I'm still walking with God through this. I'm very much not a teacher in a classroom per se, but I am one in the trenches with you, walking this thing out. So I'm talking about my own personal life, my own personal doubts, my own personal fear, the things that I have wrestled with. I'm like, yeah, the Bible does say flee from sexual morality. So why are you bringing me back here? And what I have now is it's like, I want to show you who you are in me by taking you back to the place where you have been marked to believe lies about who you are in me. But if it was always in the dark, it would stay in the dark. And what that means is you would believe, you would never change your mind, you would never repent, right? Change the way that you think about that thing you did in the dark. The shameful act would always be a shameful act that you felt ashamed of. And if you can get as far away from the shame as possible. And many men will help you do that. But God, for me anyway, is like, no, we're going to explore this. We're going to open this back up. And it's been a journey. It has been a journey. And what I have found with him, when this accusatory spirit usually comes after I finish or something, right? That's usually when it happens. It's like, you're always going to be alone. Never going to be with a woman. No woman's going to accept you like this. Like, oh, like all of these accusations come after you've already done the act. You're just left there alone. But this is what I've found with the Lord. That it wasn't right away. This has not been a right away thing. This has been a walking with him over years. But I've found that he met me and continues to meet me with honor in this place where I've been shamed. Not where I should be ashamed. Because he separates the sexual desires that I have had from the shame and says, this is good. I have given this to you and this is good. I have pleasure for you. I have a woman for you. I have something that is good for you. It's not this thing that is bad in you. It's not the desire itself that is bad in you. And in fact, I don't see this as bad in the way that you have believed that it is bad, because I do not believe shame about it like you have been deceived to believe shame about it. And I am reverse engineering this by bringing honor to the place that you have felt ashamed the most. I don't know what it is in the church, but it seems to be this thing, like watching pornography or any kind of like sexual sin. It's a big deal. And like the word says, it's a sin against the body. It goes perfect with shame. It goes perfect with the thing we just don't talk about ever. But he made me to talk about it. He did. And that's where I am in that. But he is not like we thought. He's not like I thought he was. He's like, no, when this is all said and done, it won't be a shameful act that gets buried. It'll be something that was uncovered, looked at, analyzed, walked with me, and now you are brought to the same conclusion that I knew you were going to arrive at because of grace that was going to have you arrive, and that is, I am not this. I am not what I've been accused of. And my sexual desires are not bad. I am not bad. I am not lacking in this. And now I don't desire it because I've walked with the Lord in it. And he has not shamed me there, but he has brought the love. He has brought the honor. And that's what I would want to do with people, because I'm still kind of walking this out or whatever, is get to a place that if I'm in a different place than you can come to me and I can be a witness to the one who walked through that thing with me, and then give you who he is in that. A perspective that I have of him that I didn't have when I was walking through it with him, because I was so in darkness. And I thought I was the darkness, and I couldn't see him clearly because I was in darkness, and I couldn't see him clearly because I had this stain of shame on my soul. I would be like, yeah, no, I did that. I walked through that, and this is what I came to find out about him. He's more lovely than we thought. He does not see us that way. Right? I will be a witness. I want to be a witness to who he is. So recently, this is kind of what brings about this video or whatever, because he has allowed pornography to be on the table with me, right? every other day, whenever I feel the urge to do it, I do it. And for a little while, it was like, no, I'm trying to like not do it, but then it became no longer resisting it. So then I just do it, and then I just do it, and then it's not really a big deal. And then I do it, and then I really get into it. And I'm thinking, well, if the more I get into this, the more it's going to take over me. But it's like this seems to be just the natural progression of the journey with him in this thing. Because I have tried to resist these desires that are in me because I've felt like they're something to be ashamed of, because I have believed shame about them, because I've been accused in this place that I don't know myself. And so I'm under the accusation. If that makes sense. So I've thought that these desires are bad and I need to limit them. Turns out when you do that, you actually find that there's like an animal in you or something. You find like there's all of this regression or something. Like I've greatly tried to limit that. And I think this is what will happen in the church, and this is our solution for things, is we'll try to put a stop on that. But it's not a very good solution. It's almost like just building up so much pressure, and it's only a matter of time before it oh my God, so weird I'm talking about this. But so he's had me lose myself in it, basically. That's what it's come to now. Lose myself in it with him, which is more like, hey God, I'm not going to focus on you while I'm doing this thing. But it's like he's giving me full permission to let myself go in it. And I have, right? And it's good. It's good. Wow, this is so good. And then I was like, I want to do this again. I want to do this again. I want to do this again. And the Lord's like, yeah, we can do this again. We can do this again. It's on the table for you. Almost like him saying, I'm not worried about this. This is not going to hold you back, because I know who you really are. And you're not one who is this depraved, sexual deviant, always needing to get off all the time. See, I thought that, if I lose myself in pornography, it's only a matter of time before I go and get like a prostitute or something, right? No, I actually think this is what happens when we try to handle it in our own strength. It becomes something that we cannot contain it, because we're saying things about our desires that are not true, and so we're trying to limit ourselves, which is only just making it worse. But for him, with me, he's had me go all in. I'm not worried about it. I've already provided a way out. And so the newest addition to this journey with him, I guess you could say, is, and I want to say it like this, because I never thought I would ever be someone who does this. I didn't even know this was a thing, right? But I find myself with God, it's like I just, when he has me in something, I find myself doing it, basically. Basically, it's just like, oh, I'm doing this now. Like I discovered it, like watching porn or whatever. There's like these porn games, these like 3D, semi-animated, more realistic. Those the ones that I liked, or whatever. Like porn games, like adult games, and I've been playing those like a lot, and I've downloaded probably like 4 or something, and I'm in it, and I'm like, wow, I get to be this character. Name your character. I said, you know what? Let's name him Brandon. That's my name, right? And basically, most of these games are kind of set up the same way, and it's this. As a kid or as a young man, this was my dream. I mean, it's like my literal dreams. I think, influenced by a spirit of lust, one of the many reoccurring dreams I would have, right? And I don't have these dreams anymore. I haven't had them in a long time, but I used to have these reoccurring dreams where I would just be going around in the world having sex with as many women as possible. No strings attached, just, yeah, and just giving myself into that. But I would wake up and I would feel ashamed. right? And so it makes sense now in this way where God is like revisiting that with me or something. So I'm playing these games, and I've downloaded like 4 or 5 of them, like I said, but they all kind of have the same theme. You know, the male that's like going out in the world or on quest adventures or whatever, and every single character opposite of him is like this attractive, beautiful, lusty woman. And I'm like, oh, I like this shit. Hell yeah. It just like brought me back to that like child, like young teenage, it smells like teen spirit, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Where I started to feel regressed and where I felt ashamed and where I feel like I had to like bottle it all up. It's like, no, it's like now this place where I'm at with God, where I can't even, it's hard to describe. It's like so much continual stress that I can't be here anymore. And I think in that way, he's like, here, play this game. And I'm like, all right. And I play it like all day. I'm just like, And I'm going back and forth between like, oh wow, this is great. I love this because I'm like in the fantasy. I'm living like my greatest fantasy, right? The one that I thought was my greatest fantasy. I'm going around in this game and having sex with all these women, and they're validating me. They're accepting me. They want me. And I was like, this is it. This is everything I ever wanted whenever I was younger. But this is where God will bring us through something. The grace to explore who you're not, right? To receive confidence in who you are. I think that's probably what the video is going to be called. Because I'm receiving confidence. Because it's not like I play these games. I've played these games and I was just like, oh, I shouldn't like this. There was that, right? But I'm in this place now where I've just like let myself go to such a degree. Like I don't have the strength to resist anything, nor do I care to do that. I don't have the strength. I don't have the motivation. I'm just falling into this game, right? I'm just becoming a zombie in these games, looking at these images in the fantasy, right? Like, oh, this is good. This is everything I ever wanted. And he's like, yeah, you like this, right? And I'm like, I do like this. I do like this. I do like this. And I'm honest with him now. And like in a way I couldn't be honest with him before. But I'm basically telling you this. I'm expressing this. I'm releasing this so that maybe there's this grace for you to see a different side of him. One who is more free. One who is more liberated. One who doesn't shame you but actually cares to bring so much honor and love to you in the places where you have been ashamed. Where you have been shamed, right? So I'm like, dude, I'm playing this game. This is like really like pathetic. But I'm like, I don't care anymore, dude. That's just where I'm at. Like, I got stain on my shirt. I'm on a YouTube video. I'm talking about this shit. You know, this is my life now. I'm walking with God. This is what it is. And I don't feel ashamed about it, right? Because of him. But I'm playing this game. I'm getting really, really into it. And then I just find myself losing interest, right? I find what seems to be the Spirit of God that is with me, that has been continuously with me, saying, yeah, that feels good, right? Yeah, that feels, what if that feels good? Like you want this. I want this for you in a way. But then he's like waiting for me to realize I'm not about this anymore. Like I was only about this fantasy before because I didn't know who I was in him, because I was so confused about myself, because I needed this external validation, right? And he's like, you're not about this. You never were. You were just deceived to believe you were. You thought you were darkness, but you were just in darkness. But now I am with you in this place, and you're going to lose interest, because these games don't really provide all that much. I was like, all right, first game I played, not a lot of like sound or like sexual, like, because you like play as like kind of like a 2D character person or whatever, kind of like a sim type thing. But then you get to these like sexual scenes, and usually the sexual scenes depends upon the graphics or whatever. And like, so the first couple that I played, there's like no sound. I was like, I can't get into this. I can't get off if there's no like sound. Like, this is not, come on, man. But it was also very enticing because it was like, I was like playing this character now, right? Which pornography doesn't really offer me that. And so I was like in this character that is named me, and they're addressing me. And so like, it came with this like personal, intimate quality to it that was a turn on by itself. But I would get to the actual sex scenes, and it's like no sound. What the hell? So I was like, I asked God, I was like, look, man, if you're gonna hook me up with these games, like, I want some sound, baby. Come on, make it sound good. And like, so I asked him about that, like the first or second game, and the games got better and better and better. I see now, in terms of quality, right? I was like, there's no voice acting. Where's the voice acting? I didn't say voice acting, but like, how come these characters don't have voices? I just have to read it. I was like, I would like if they would talk. The last game I played, sound, talking, all that. And there was one game that I played that I was into for like a second before I realized I can't get into this anymore. And it was basically where you have the power to manipulate, the power to persuade, and you grow in the power to manipulate. Right? Like, it's like crazy. I was like into it for like a second. I was like, damn. So what you're telling me is I can get anyone to do anything I want. I can get any girl to have sex with me anytime that I want because I have this power. That's the game. Right? But I lost interest in that too. I was like, I like more of a realistic thing. But the last game that I've played. And here's the thing. It's still on the table. That's the spirit of freedom. That's God for me. Now, right now, where he's like, no, you can pick it up if you want to. And I might do that. I might feel so stressed in the day that I pick up the game. But I pick up the game and I find him in the game. And then after going through the game, I'm a little bit more confident that that's not what I want or who I am or what I'm about. That seems to be what's happening. That seems to be this continual washing in the truth. The truth, I was made of truth, for truth, by truth. I was made in light, for light, by light. I'm not of this darkness thing. Like, this can't become my whole personality. Like I thought once it could. It can't become my whole personality. Because that's not who I am. And I'm growing in the confidence of who I am. But the last game that I played, right? Sound. I'm like, oh God, the Holy Spirit, like, heard me. Heard my requests, right? Put them at the top of the list, next to human suffering. There's like, oh, Brandon is asking for more sound and better quality, like sexual graphics, 3D character shit in this game that he's playing. I got the perfect game for you, right? Link in the, no, I'm not gonna link it or anything, but basically I found one, right? And I was like, oh, this is great. And then it just became like the other ones that are on the shelf. I'm just like, oh, so this is what this whole thing is. It doesn't go anywhere new. And perhaps the fascination that I had with it that continues to go with me into new places is the spirit of freedom, exploring these places that I thought we were supposed to shut the door. But God's like, no, let's open the door. Let's open the door. I'll shut the door when it's time to shut the door, but right now let's reopen the door because there's some doubt in you. There's some fear in you. There's some places where you have been marked and stained by shame that I want to be with you in and give you honor in. But I can't give you honor in this place of shame until the shame comes up. You got to see where you've been marked. You got to see where you have been influenced to believe lies about yourself in order for the truth to come in. How is the truth going to set you free if you do not see at first where you were bound? So I'm playing these games, man. I'm getting everything I want in that way. I'm just like, but come on, man. So playing as me, right, Brandon. Except it's Brandon, this other version of Brandon, not the version I'm in. And I'm in this place of great suffering and limitation, but I'm with God, And this is thing that I don't really quite understand yet. It seems to be like a paradox, because in the game, I get everything I ever thought I would want, but I don't have God. This character doesn't know God, if that makes sense, right? Because in order to be this guy in this game, the women consume all of his time and attention. And so that is what he is into. That is what he is doing, right? There's only so much time and attention and strength and energy that we have on a day-to-day basis. He wakes up, his phone is blowing up. It's the next woman, the next woman, the next woman, right? Boom, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. And I'm like, okay. And I'm in this place where there's none of that. But I'm growing in knowing God. And I'm like, would I trade this for that? Sometimes I would. But I'm brought to the same conclusion every time, which is I don't really believe that. And I think this is where he will take you to places and through places to show you who you're not. You say, this is not who you are, because you have met me now. You have tasted and seen that I am good, and now everything in comparison to this goodness is not good for you anymore. It used to be good. This used to be a place of freedom. If you had more of this, this would be even better. But let me take you back there to show you I have done a work in you. You are not the same. You know yourself a little bit more now. You're coming to know yourself a little bit more now. You're coming to know me a little bit more now. And you are going to lose interest in these things. I think it will be the same for you. Look, I don't know. I don't know if you're an explorer like I'm an explorer. He seems to be one who has created me to, trailblaze and walk through things just to show you what's possible and what's not possible as it relates to God. Where his heart really is with people that have been marked by this sexual shame. He's like, I'm not like that, and I don't see it that way, and I don't see you that way. So I live out in the open. It's like, this is pretty pathetic, right? Let's just put it on the internet. This is the spirit of freedom. Because I don't consider it pathetic. There's still a part of me that's just like, why did I do that? But I think I'm gonna look back on it and be like, damn. It was only in that game I could experience like the closest to the fantasy without going and, because I think I had it before in real life, whenever I was really on these these dating apps or whatever, a long time ago. But I wasn't this confident, cool character, okay? It wasn't like that for me. I felt insecure. I needed alcohol to feel okay to be with women. So then I wasn't able to really be this character that just got it all. This character in this game, this like alpha person, right? But I'm playing this alpha person. I'm like, this is not me. This is not my life. This is not what I'm about. This guy is confident in ways that I've never been confident. And I thought it was because I lacked confidence. And in a way, I did lack confidence, but I lacked confidence in who I wasn't, right? So I would have to try to pretend to be somebody. And I would try to I tried to be somebody, like I pretended to be someone, and wondered why I never had confidence when I was pretending to be someone. It's because it's not who I was. Now I'm coming to know who I am in God. He is uncovering the confidence that is in me, and I'm finding that it is there. But it's not confidence in a version of me that I'm trying to be or trying not to be. It's who I am, where I am. That's why it never worked. That's why it never worked the way that I thought it was supposed to work. That's why I never had the confidence of Ryan Gosling. This guy just, because I never wanted to be like this. I never wanted to be like this like alpha dude that just like gets all the girls just because. I mean, it may be like a part of me, but for the most part, I wanted to be this romantic type person like Ryan Gosling. But I could never see myself doing that. And I think it has to do with timing and everything. But I was trying to be confident in a man that I wasn't. And God was like holding me back from that and bringing me to a place to show me, I see something in you. And this is the confidence of who you are. And so this is going to be different for you. And I think this is what it will be like for you walking with God. You're going to have a different experience. You're going to have a new experience. But in that experience, you're going to find the confidence of God after having walked through something. I especially want to say the things that you've struggled with, the things that you have wrestled with, the things that have left the stain of shame on your soul, that have had you in a cycle of shame, the things you don't want to talk about. Confidence in those areas. Because if you need to be confident anywhere, where do you need to be? Confidence in the place where you have thought to believe that you are not enough. The most. The place where you have felt the ugliest is probably where you need to receive the most confidence. And that's something about sexual shame, shame against the body. It makes you feel ugly. Like this ugliness that you can't get off of you. But because you feel ugly, you go back to it, right? Because it's like you feel naked, and so you want to clothe yourself, but you clothe yourself in the same thing that makes you feel naked. So you're clothing yourself in the same thing that makes you feel naked, and you're just in this cycle. I don't feel enough, and so here's this thing, I'm going to grab it, I'm going to feel enough. Then you don't feel enough, and it makes you feel even less. Then the church will just throw it off of you. And just like, I think you're going to find God coming underneath the blanket with you, underneath the blanket of shame with you, and being like, I'm okay with this. I'm with you here. I will be your new covering underneath this blanket, underneath this thing that you do. I'm in it with you. Time will tell what happens to me. It's a weird ass journey we're on.